First time getting contacted by the DEA. I can't say it was something that I expected, honestly, but at the same time, I can't tell you I was that surprised when it happened. First off, I just want to say thank you if you're here, whether it's your first time or whether you're coming back. I appreciate you. If you could please hit that subscribe button, that means the most to me. It's nice to know that people want to hear my stories. It makes me want to tell them more. I'll still tell them regardless. I don't care if I got one subscriber. Like, really, I really don't care. But it's nice, and I think, the likes, comments, tell me I'm doing bad. Tell me how I could do better. Talk shit. I don't care. You know what I mean? Just fucking, you know, it is what it is. So, without going too far out of the zone, let me just get right into it of the first time that the DEA contacted me. So, this happened, fuck man, I was pretty young when this happened, to be honest with you. Like, I was for sure, like, probably in my 20s, like 21, 22, so like 10 years ago. So, what happened was I I got used to I have a really like messed up and very extensive medical history like record. Like A to Z I've been prescribed it. If you can think of it, like I've had a prescription for it at one point or another because I had a doctor that was like every like addict's like wet dream was just the doctor that would just write whatever you wanted whenever like he I'm pretty sure he was like senile or he was getting old because every time I went into his office he acted like he didn't even know who I was. And this doctor was someone that was like a family doctor. Like I didn't go searching for a doctor or pay somebody for information. Like this was my normal. I had been going to him since I was a kid, since I was like 5. So it just so happened that he turned into like the number one person. Okay. So while I had him, he would just like write me whatever I wanted. Like literally, just I would leave his place with like 4 or 5. I'd have Xanax and Percocet and lean, lots and lots and lots and lots and lots of lean. Just like sleeping pills that were really just like more like stronger. Like the whole medical system's all fucked up right now. It used to be like very unregulated. So what ended up happening, like even this fool was so crazy. One time I kept asking him like if I could get like a big bottle because I told him I wanted like a pint bottle, and he was like, what do you want me to give you, a gallon? And then like me being a dumbass, I was like, yeah, a gallon, that sounds good. But of course he was joking. So what ended up happening was he like he always every 2 weeks, like clockwork for like years, I would go to him. And the pharmacy that I would go to, they always had activists. So this had to have been between like 2011 and 2013 because activists like pretty much left. But the place I went to had an overstock of activists, so they had it like longer than like everywhere else. So I like I could have gone to CVS, I could have gone to other places, but I was a dumbass and I was like all, my preference. So, I kept going to my spot, and then I still remember the day that I called and the guy was like, "We do not have any more activists." And then he like hung up on me and I was like, "Damn." Like I knew that was coming in cuz I would try to save some, And then I kept going, and I kept getting more. And then I would drink what I saved, because I wanted to save it. Like, I knew it was gonna be gone, so I wanted to save it. I thought it'd be worth something or whatever. So, like, every time that I would go, it would still be activist. So I would just continue. I would be like, shit, this shit doesn't seem like it's ever running out. Like, I'm good. So of course it did run out eventually. And after that ran out, um, the next best thing was this stuff called Hi-Tech, which came in a glass bottle. That was like the next best stuff. Okay, it was red, and like back in the day, it was fun. It was funny. Nobody wanted it. Like, I can remember being like a kid, or not a kid, but very younger, and like nobody wanted it. Like, even if it was free, nobody wanted it. Like, I got a pint of it for like $250 one time, just because nobody like gave a shit about it, which is like very very cheap. Um, so like, they had that, and I was like, oh, okay, cool. Like, if they have that, then like that's fine. And then of course they changed the formula on that, and they changed the formula. Like, I swear they were taking out all the sugar. Or for that case, they changed the manufacturer to where instead of it being glass bottles, the bottles were made out of plastic now. But they also changed the formula when they changed it to the bottles that were not glass. So it, instead of it being this like candy, like, I swear to God, it smelled and tasted like candy. Like, I had no problem with Activist being gone, because this other company, Hi-Tech, like, it tasted so good. It didn't even matter. It was just like straight red candy. So I, like, I'm smelling it, and I'm like, all right, cool, cool. And then I remember going, and the bottle said Acorn on it, and I was like, what the fuck? Why does it say Acorn on it? And then I like went and opened it, and it had this like medicine-y smell to it, and I was like, uh, like, I didn't like it. So, anyways, after that, me being my, oh, preference, so I want the blah blah blah, when really it's all the same shit at the end of the day. Like, I was trying to avoid drinking Qualitas, even though like I'll drink that shit all day. I don't even care. It's a name that you don't hear very often, if ever, anymore, honestly. So, like, the the like I just like thought that Hi-Tech was like the next best thing. So the only like main pharmacy that carries Hi-Tech, you'd either like at Walgreens, you'd either get Hi-Tech or you get MGP, which would be Morton Grove, which turned into Walk, but before that it was Morton Grove, which would be like bubblegum flavored. And then, or you could get Hi-Tech. It was like one of the two. Okay, so I start going to Walgreens, and like, I had always told myself not to go to Walgreens because the staff is way more on point. Like, they're trying to just like catch people up, and like, not exactly catch people up, but they always were like way more concerned, instead of just like taking the prescription and filling it. They always had a million questions, and it was just not a cool place to go. But they had the stuff that I wanted. So I started going there with the same stuff, the same prescriptions I was getting from my old doctor. So I'm going there, and like, what happened is I would get 3 pints every month. And like, I would get my like but instead of getting the actual like pints, I would just get the small bottles, and I would get refills on them. So I would always get my refills right away. And like, it got to a point, I guess, because like I said, they paid more. This other place, I was doing it for like 3 years. I was doing it every 4 days. I would go to the pharmacy like clockwork, like clockwork. Never had an issue. Never had any kind of issue at all for insurance, for like the place. Like, It was filled, it was done, it was nothing, okay? But for some reason, this place, they're like, they tripped out. So I'm on my way. I was actually on my way to go pick up a bottle when they called me. And I get a call, and I pick up my phone, and it says, "Hello, is this Patrick Stork?" And I said, "Yes, may I ask who's calling?" And they say, "Hi, I'm Detective so and so from the Drug Enforcement Agency." And like in my mind, I'm like, "Oh shit," like fuck. So he's like, "Do you mind if we have a quick chat?" And I'm like, "Fuck, I hate when people put it like that." But I was like, "Yeah, sure." And so he starts asking me questions about like dates. Like he starts asking me like, "So it says here, I'm just looking over your file." And because of course I did everything, like I was under insurance at the time, so everything was cheap, like mad cheap, you know what I mean? Like everything, 100 Xanax cost me $5. Like a pint cost me $10. A pint of lean cost me $10. Like everything was very cheap. So I used my insurance, which looking back on it might not have been the best idea. But anyways, so he starts naming like all these dates. Like it says here that you got this on this date, then 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 this on this date. And he's like, "I'm just curious why you're getting it so much." And I was like, "Well, I'd rather like get it and like have it. Like I would rather have it and not need it than need it and not have it." And he's like, "Oh, okay, but like, don't you think that's a little much? Like, do you really think you need that much?" And I was like, "I don't know, I mean, like, I just like, I know I have the refills, and when it's time for me to get my refill, I go get the refill just in case." Because at the time, the way that my doctor wrote it, I was allowed to drink 2 ounces every day. So 8 ounces in a bottle, that's like 4 days. That's how I was able to go to the other place every 4 days. So he's like asking me about that, and he's like asking me like where I got the prescriptions from and all this stuff. I was like, "I got it from my regular doctor." And he's like, "Oh yeah, like blah blah blah." And I'm like telling him, I'm like, "Look," and I told him, I said, "Look, I didn't put a gun up to his head and force anybody to do anything, okay? Like, everything has been above board. Like, he sees what's wrong with me and he tries to help me out with what he can. So that's what he does. And I wasn't trying to narc on my doctor or anything, but I was just explaining. I'm like, "Look, you're talking to the wrong guy here. Like, I never, you know." But looking back on it, I manipulated the shit out of that old man. Like, I'm just gonna be straight up about it. So, anyways, they they take him, and yeah, he like he calls, or I end up giving him their number, or I end up giving them his number, and I tell him like, "Yo, like if you want to talk to him, like feel free. It's like he's probably not going to talk to you anyways, but like, and because they asked me for his number, so like I gave them his number. It wasn't like me just narking on him or whatever. Like I still do kind of feel whatever for him, but he ended up like a couple months down the road, he ended up retiring. So like nothing happened to him anyways, but like I just knew, like, in his situation, I could see that he was getting old. And I remember the day where I was like, I'm definitely a ride it till the wheels fall off kind of guy in, like, a lot of respects. So, like, that was definitely a situation that I saw it coming to a close. And I was like, dude, I'm just gonna, like, try to, like, do what I can. And, like, his catchphrase was, "What else?" Like, I'd be like, "Well, I need my pain medicine, my Percocet." "What else?" "Well, I need my cough medicine with refills." What else? I need my anxiety medication, 100 Xanax bars. What else? I need my sleep medication, 60 Klonopin. Like it was just it was insane the amount of, like, I would leave with stacks of stuff, but it really has came back to haunt me in my older years, which it's not fun. Like nobody wants to fill prescriptions for me. They see my history and they see how fucked up it is. Like it's definitely, I would be lying if I said it didn't affect me going down the road. So, anyways, I just thought this was a story. This would not be the only time that I heard from the DEA. Just believe that, okay? There's other stories I have where, like, they definitely popped back up. So this was just the first time that I dealt with them. So, anyways, hope everybody's having a good Sunday, and yeah, I'll be back with another story maybe later, but for sure tomorrow. All right, peace.